In today's episode of True Crimes Unfold, we unpack the case of Jastine Valdez and one of the highest profile cases involving a new immigrant in Ireland that shocked the nation and brought awareness to community vigilance. Please note that events and scenarios in this video may be graphic for some viewers. Discretion is advised. Details of the videos are taken from actual case files. Before we begin, let us know in the comments where you're listening from and what type of cases you'd like us to cover next, and we'll make sure to add them to our list. Don't forget to subscribe to get new stories as soon as they're released. Settle in, get ready, and let's begin. On May 19th, 2018, in the peaceful rural village of Enniskerry, Ireland, life seemed to unfold as usual. Nestled amidst lush greenery, the community was known for its tranquility. A far cry from the chaos of urban life. But that evening, the village would become the epicenter of a tragedy that shook Ireland to its core. Jastine Valdez, a 24-year-old accounting student, had a full day planned. Born in the Philippines, Justine had moved to Ireland 3 years earlier to join her parents, who had worked tirelessly to provide her with a brighter future. She was described by friends and family as hardworking, kind, and full of promise. A young woman with dreams of excelling in her career and helping her family achieve even greater stability. That day, Justine completed her paperwork for her residency permit, a crucial step in securing her future in her adopted home. She then headed to the gym, sticking to her routine of fitness and self-discipline. After her workout, Justine's mother, Teresita, texted her, asking if she could pick up some bread on her way home. It was a simple, mundane request, one that countless families make every day. Justine dutifully stopped at the store, bought the bread, and caught the number 185 bus to return to Enniskerry. It was a route she knew well. When the bus dropped her off, she began the familiar 15-minute walk to her family's cottage. A journey she had made countless times without a second thought. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, Justine's mother felt a growing unease. It was unlike her daughter to be late or unresponsive. Teresita's repeated calls went unanswered. Minutes turned into hours, and the calm of the evening gave way to an undercurrent of dread. By nightfall, Justine's absence had transformed an ordinary Saturday into the beginning of a nightmare. What should have been a quiet evening at home became the start of a frantic search. A search that would uncover a chilling and heart-wrenching tale of loss, resilience, and unanswered questions. As the evening progressed on May 19th, 2018, Teresita Valdez's unease turned into panic. Her daughter, Justine, was always in close contact, often texting updates about her whereabouts. But that evening, her phone was eerily silent. Every call went unanswered, and every message remained unread. Teresita decided to take matters into her own hands. She left the house and retraced the path Justine would have taken from the bus stop. The village, typically serene and picturesque, now seemed foreboding under the dim streetlights. Teresita stopped passers-by, asking if anyone had seen her daughter. A few people confirmed seeing Justine get off the number 185 bus and head toward home. But beyond that, there were no signs of her. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. Desperate, Teresita called the police to report Justine missing. The authorities responded swiftly, aware that time was critical in missing persons cases. They began by canvassing the area, speaking to witnesses, and piecing together the last known movements of the 24-year-old. One critical lead came from a motorist who had been driving along the rural road that evening. She reported seeing a black Nissan Qashqai parked on the side of the road with its headlights off. As she passed the vehicle, she noticed a man forcibly pushing a young woman, who matched Justine's description, into the trunk of the car. The woman, terrified but unable to intervene, immediately called the police to report the alarming incident. Another witness, driving the same route later that evening, recalled seeing an Asian woman in the back seat of a similar car, tapping fearfully on the window. However, he only realized the gravity of the situation after hearing about Justine's disappearance and promptly alerted the authorities. When officers arrived at the location provided by the first caller, they found disturbing clues. Justine's cell phone, shattered on the ground, and a bag of bread, the one her mother had asked her to buy, discarded nearby. The chilling evidence confirmed what everyone feared. Justine had been abducted. With no time to lose, the police launched a full-scale search, setting the stage for a race against time to save a young woman whose life hung in the balance. The disappearance of Jastine Valdez ignited a large-scale investigation that mobilized police forces, local volunteers, and even the media. With the discovery of her shattered cell phone and the bag of bread at the roadside, the authorities knew they were dealing with a serious crime. The quiet village of Enniskerry was now the epicenter of a race to unravel a mystery before it was too late. Detectives quickly honed in on the reports of a black Nissan Qashqai, the car seen in connection with Justine's abduction. They began their search by identifying all registered vehicles of that make and model in the area. Surveillance footage from nearby roads and businesses provided crucial insights. One clip, in particular, showed a black Nissan trailing the bus Justine had taken home. The vehicle's suspicious movements pointed to a calculated plan. As investigators delved deeper, they received another tip that heightened their suspicions. A witness had seen the driver of a similar car acting erratically near the area where Justine disappeared. His behavior seemed out of place, and the car's description matched the one the police were hunting for. Hours turned into a long, tense night as the investigation ramped up. Patrol officers searched roads, while helicopters, equipped with thermal imaging, scanned the area from above. But despite the exhaustive efforts, neither Justine nor the suspect's car was found. Frustrated but determined, the search resumed at first light. By morning, detectives had a breakthrough. Their investigation into the black Nissan Qashqai owners led them to a man named Mark Hennessy. Hennessy, a 40-year-old father of two, lived in an affluent neighborhood and worked as a construction estimator. On the surface, he appeared to be a model citizen, a family man with no criminal record or history of violence. However, witnesses' descriptions of the man seen during Justine's abduction bore an uncanny resemblance to Hennessy. When police visited Hennessy's home, they were greeted by his wife, Nicola. She provided a timeline of her husband's whereabouts on the day of Justine's disappearance. According to Nicola, Hennessy had left for work in the morning, returned briefly in the afternoon, and then claimed he was heading to a bar to unwind. However, he hadn't returned home since. This raised immediate red flags for investigators. Detectives followed up on Nicola's statement by visiting the bar Hennessy frequented. Staff confirmed that he had been there on the evening of May 19th, but his behavior was odd. He arrived briefly, left after just one drink, and returned later in the night looking visibly anxious. CCTV footage from the bar corroborated their statements and showed Hennessy leaving the bar at 5:40 p.m., just minutes before Justine was last seen. The investigation intensified when detectives reviewed the surveillance footage from the bus Justine had been on. It revealed Hennessy's black Nissan Qashqai following the bus closely, adding a damning piece of evidence to the puzzle. The timeline now painted a chilling picture. Hennessy had been stalking Justine as she made her way home. As police continued their search, Hennessy's behavior grew more erratic. He placed a single call to his wife, telling her he wasn't coming home and providing no further explanation. His family, desperate and confused, relayed this information to the authorities. Hennessy's refusal to turn himself in only solidified the growing suspicion against him. The media played a crucial role in amplifying the search. Authorities appealed to the public for any information about Hennessy's whereabouts or sightings of the black Nissan. The call for help worked. A sharp-eyed citizen recognized the vehicle and its driver and reported it to the police. With the investigation rapidly closing in, the police were one step closer to solving the mystery of Justine's disappearance. But as they prepared to confront Hennessy, they were unaware of the harrowing truth that awaited them, one that would leave an indelible mark on everyone involved. The search for justice had become a race against an increasingly unstable suspect, and every second mattered. The search for Mark Hennessy reached a fever pitch as the police closed in on the suspect. On May 20th, a day after Jastine Valdez was reported missing, a breakthrough came from a vigilant member of the public. She spotted a black Nissan Qashqai, matching the description given by authorities, and immediately contacted the police. The vehicle was seen parked near Cherrywood Park, a secluded area outside Dublin. Police units quickly arrived at the location, surrounding the vehicle to prevent any chance of escape. Inside, they found Mark Hennessy behind the wheel. He was covered in blood, holding a knife, and behaving erratically. When ordered to surrender, Hennessy refused, waving the weapon in a threatening manner. Fearing for their safety and the potential loss of critical information about Justine's whereabouts, officers fired a shot that struck Hennessy in the shoulder. As they pulled him from the vehicle, officers realized the situation was even more dire than anticipated. Hennessy had inflicted several self-inflicted stab wounds to his neck and arms. Despite his injuries, he was still conscious but refused to provide any information about Justine. Tragically, while medics rushed to stabilize him, the bullet had ricocheted, causing a fatal head injury. Hennessy died shortly after being taken to the hospital. Inside the vehicle, investigators found no sign of Justine. The realization that their primary suspect had died without revealing her location was a devastating blow. However, a crucial clue emerged. A blood-stained note scrawled with the words "Sorry" and "Peace Castle." Though cryptic, the note gave detectives a faint glimmer of hope. Acting on the lead, police launched an intensive search in the vicinity of Puck's Castle. a wooded area south of Dublin. The terrain was dense and challenging, but officers combed through it meticulously. Their efforts paid off on May 21st when they discovered Justine's purse, containing her identification. Shortly after, the heartbreaking discovery of her body was made. An autopsy revealed that Justine had been strangled to death on the evening of her abduction. Evidence confirmed she had also been subjected to a violent assault. The investigation uncovered traces of prohibited substances in her system, likely administered after her death. Hennessy, it was determined, had been under the influence of alcohol and drugs at the time of the crime. The tragic discovery left the community reeling. A vibrant young life had been senselessly taken, and the man responsible would never face justice. However, the case was far from over. As details of the crime emerged, a darker and more calculated picture of Mark Hennessy began to unfold, casting a shadow over the quiet village of Enniskerry. The discovery of Jastine Valdez's body sent shockwaves through Ireland. What began as a peaceful Saturday in the rural village of Enniskerry had ended in unimaginable tragedy. The entire nation mourned the loss of a bright young woman whose life was stolen in such a senseless and brutal manner. For her family, the pain was immeasurable. They had worked tirelessly to provide Justine with a future filled with promise, only to see it violently taken away. As investigators pieced together the final details of the case, a chilling narrative emerged. While initial assumptions pointed to Justine's abduction being a random act, evidence suggested otherwise. Mark Hennessy's movements in the days leading up to the crime revealed a disturbing pattern. He had been seen frequently traveling along Justine's usual route, and CCTV footage confirmed that he had followed the bus she took home. This pointed to premeditation, a calculated plan to abduct a vulnerable victim. Further investigation uncovered cracks in the facade of Hennessy's seemingly normal life. Though he was known as a family man, he had been struggling with substance abuse, mounting debt, and deteriorating relationships. Friends and acquaintances revealed that he had recently installed a dating app and was frequently seen flirting with women in bars. It was clear that the respectable image he had projected to the world was a mask concealing deep turmoil and predatory tendencies. For the Valdez family, the aftermath of Justine's death was a time of profound grief and reflection. Her parents, Teresita and Daniel, decided to return to the Philippines to bury their beloved daughter in her homeland. Surrounded by family and friends, they said their final goodbyes in a ceremony marked by sorrow and resilience. White balloons were released into the sky, symbolizing Justine's spirit, while mourners wore pink shirts bearing her image in a show of solidarity and love. The crime also left an indelible mark on the community of Enniskerry. Residents, shaken by the tragedy, came together to support the Valdez family and reflect on how such a horrific event could occur in their quiet village. The case sparked nationwide conversations about safety, justice, and the hidden dangers lurking behind seemingly ordinary lives. Though justice for Justine would never be fully realized, her story became a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance and compassion. The tragic case of Jastine Valdez continues to resonate, serving as a somber reminder of life's unpredictability and the importance of community vigilance. Her story brought Ireland together in mourning, highlighting the strength of human compassion in the face of loss. For her parents, Justine's memory lives on as a testament to her resilience, kindness, and the dreams she carried. While justice may have eluded them in the traditional sense, the unity and support shown by countless strangers offered a glimmer of hope. Justine's legacy endures, reminding us to cherish our loved ones and stand against the shadows of violence.